everything you know about God is wrong. The universe reveals the truth. When we look at existence, one striking fact becomes impossible to ignore. The universe is unimaginably vast. Millions upon millions of stars scatter across the endless sky, some so distant that their light has traveled billions of years to reach us. Below, the oceans stretch farther than the eye can see, their depths home to creatures that remain largely unknown. On land, forests teem with life. Towering trees, delicate plants, and tiny insects that perform their roles quietly, without human notice. Even the smallest microorganisms, invisible to the naked eye, play essential roles in the balance of life. Through it all, life unfolds in countless forms, from the simplest single-celled organisms to the complexity of humans, animals, and ecosystems interacting in perfect, intricate harmony. The universe is not just big, it is intricate, interconnected, and self-contained. Every star, every wave, every leaf, every heartbeat is part of a system that functions on its own, without guidance, intervention, or oversight. Its scale is both overwhelming and humbling, from the vast emptiness between galaxies to the microscopic worlds within a single drop of water. Yet every part of it exists as if it has always existed, entirely self-sufficient, entirely complete in its own way. It is so astonishingly complex, so intricate in every detail, that it feels almost impossible to imagine it existing on its own. The stars, the oceans, the mountains, the tiniest living cells, the patterns of life, and the laws of physics all interweave in ways that seem purposeful, intentional, and beyond random chance. When faced with such complexity, it is natural, almost instinctive, to feel that something this vast and organized must have a creator. Many have concluded that this incredible universe could not have come into existence by itself. There must be someone, some being, some intelligence behind it. A god, a creator, an originator who brought it all into being. At first glance, this conclusion seems entirely reasonable. Everything we observe in life appears to have a cause. Every building has a builder, every painting has an artist, every invention has a maker. So why should the universe be any different? It seems logical to assume that the universe too must have been caused, that it too must have been created by some higher intelligence. But then comes a question that cannot be ignored. If everything requires a creator, then who created the creator? This question repeats endlessly. If the creator had a creator, that creator would require a creator too. And so on, potentially stretching into infinity. A chain of causes with no clear beginning, an endless loop with no resolution. It becomes clear that invoking a creator of the creator does not solve the problem. It only postpones it, adding complexity. The usual response is that the universe is created by a creator god, and the creator does not need a cause. The creator simply exists. He is self-born from nothing. He has no origin, no beginning, no explanation. He just is, and has always been. But why does this rule, the same rule that explains everything else, collapse the moment it becomes inconvenient? If everything that exists must have a cause, then the universe requires a creator. If Creator God can exist without a cause, why cannot the universe exist without a cause? Why not consider the simpler possibility that the universe is self-born from nothing, existing on its own, without needing a separate being to explain it? Adding a divine being only complicates what could be explained directly. That existence simply is, complete and self-sufficient. Existence itself does not need a sculptor, an author, or a hidden hand behind a curtain. Existence simply exists, and that is enough. Saying something is eternal does not explain why it exists. It only avoids the question. If everything requires a cause, why should the Creator be exempt? And if something can exist without a cause, why deny this possibility to the universe itself? The universe does not require intention to operate. Stars ignite, rivers flow, life emerges, consciousness evolves. None of this requires a command. It happens because the conditions allow it to happen. The universe does not behave like a painting that someone has made. It behaves like a process, like a river, like a flame, like a story that writes itself. If the universe can exist without a creator, then invoking a creator adds nothing. It only complicates the simple. So here is the truth, plain and undeniable. The universe exists on its own, without a creator God. Belief in God is reinforced from the moment we are born. It is woven into our culture, our traditions, and the stories we grow up hearing. Yet if a perfect being, all-powerful, all-knowing, all-loving, created everything, then a difficult question arises. If God exists, why does suffering exist? The suffering that people face is not mere discomfort. It is the kind of suffering that can shatter a person's spirit and destroy hope. Illness, despair, cruelty, hunger, injustice, the deepest pains of life. Many explanations are offered. It is karma. It is sin. It is a divine test. But if God created everything, then who created karma? Who created sin? Who designed a world in which suffering is necessary? Many say God gave humans free will so that he may judge their choices. But if God is all-powerful, are our choices truly free? If God controls everything, then every decision we take is already part of his design. If he knows the outcome of every life before a person is even born, then every test is already graded before it begins. What purpose does judgment serve if the outcome is predetermined? If suffering is necessary for growth, why design a world where pain is the only path? Why would a perfect being need torment as a tool? If God is all-powerful, teaching could happen without pain. If God is all-knowing, the outcome of every test is already known. If God is all-good, why design a world where agony is required for growth? If suffering exists as a test, it is a cruel test. If suffering exists as a lesson, the teacher is unwise. What would that God achieve by seeing this suffering? If an all-loving God really existed, there should have been no suffering. There is no divine creator God sitting and creating this suffering. Suffering is simply part of life. Life is not punishment. Existence is not a test. Everything unfolds naturally, according to the laws of reality itself. And this leads to a striking conclusion. An all-powerful, all-loving God cannot exist, because such suffering would be unnecessary if he did. The universe does not need a God to exist, to endure, or to function. It exists entirely on its own. Everything simply follows natural law. There are no divine scripts, no celestial examinations, no cosmic surveillance. There is only existence, raw, honest, and beautiful. Humans invented God. Humans have always looked at the universe and felt small, overwhelmed, and uncertain. The stars stretch across the night sky. The oceans seem endless. Life itself is unpredictable and fragile. In the face of this vastness, people naturally seek explanations, patterns, and meaning. And so, humans invented God. Gods arise not because they are evident, but because uncertainty is uncomfortable. We create gods to answer the questions we cannot yet answer. Why are we here? Why does life include suffering? Why does the world exist at all? When we do not understand, we invent explanations, and a deity becomes the ultimate answer. Culture and tradition reinforce these beliefs. From the moment we are born, we are surrounded by stories, rituals, and teachings that embed the idea of God into our minds. These beliefs are passed down through generations, shaping our understanding of morality, purpose, and existence. But there is also a deeper psychological reason. Humans fear chaos, mortality, and the unknown. A god provides comfort, a sense of order in a world that can feel random, a guardian in a world that can feel hostile, and a purpose in a universe that may otherwise appear meaningless. Yet, calm, patient logic shows another picture. The universe does not require a creator to exist. Morality does not require a judge. Awareness does not require a divine spark. Meaning does not require a plan. We seek gods not because they are necessary, but because they help us cope with uncertainty, fear, and the unknown. Even without a deity, the universe is astonishing. Life unfolds naturally, governed by the laws of reality. Stars ignite, rivers flow, consciousness emerges. The world is magnificent, mysterious, and worthy of awe, not because someone created it, because existence itself is profound.